Hi, Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Tuesday, July the 12th. The big news today, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton had their come-together meeting in New Hampshire. Bernie Sanders endorsed his opponent Hillary Clinton for the Democratic nomination for president and said it was important that she become president. He listed a laundry list of things they do agree on, whether it's abortion rights, LGBT rights, universal health care. It was a good list designed to bring some of his supporters on board. Early polling shows that some of them are still going to take some time, but they're moving in the right direction. Speaking of Hillary Clinton, I'd recommend you take a look at the ArkansasBlog.com to find the link, or go to Vox.com, where Ezra Klein has written an in-depth piece about Hillary Clinton trying to explain the Hillary gap. That is, friends and loyalists and longtime associates of her tend to think a whole lot more warmly and affectionately about the candidate than a lot of other people do, even sometimes brought about by her own sometimes stilted speaking habits on stage. It's a woman thing, Klein says, and not in a sexist way. She's a listener. She's not a strutter, and she does listen, and she does have nuanced understandings of things, and she is a policy wonk. These are not necessarily strengths in a time when a reality TV show star seems to be capturing a lot of the public imagination. But it's a thoughtful look at Hillary Clinton, a lot different than what I've seen before. I recommend you take a look. Also in the reading category, check the New York Times, which we've talked about on Arkansas Times blog today, about a new study by a Harvard economist, he happens to be black, that to his surprise found in a study of 10 jurisdictions that once police encounters occurred between black and white suspects, the chances of a black person being killed were about the same as that of a white person. Now, don't rush, as some conservatives have, to see this as exoneration of the police. There's still strong figures that show that blacks are more likely to be stopped, they're more likely to be manhandled, they're more likely to be pepper sprayed, and because of their smaller percentage in the population, their risk of being killed by police is still greater. But it's another way of looking at the situation. Just remember that it's not necessarily the be-all and end-all in terms of statistical analysis. At the Arkansas legislature today, a committee approved a rule that allows psychiatric counselors to refuse to serve people based on religious objections. This is one of many ways in which the Arkansas legislature is moving to legalize discrimination against LGBT people. Although it doesn't say that specifically, that's why the rule was introduced. It follows a Tennessee law. Counselors, as well as any other type of person in Arkansas, can cite religion as a reason to discriminate against gay people. That's the way Republican legislators want it. That's the way the governor of Arkansas wants it. The U.S. Constitution perhaps says something different on these issues. The Arkansas Lottery promoted with some great fanfare yesterday that they'd had a great year in the year ending June the 30th. Money was up for the first time in 4 years, but it still hasn't reached levels reported in the first 2 years, about $85 million net for scholarships. That's against $100 million or more that were predicted when the lottery was started. Better than nothing, but it's still not exactly a robust report from the state lottery. Elsewhere, a Pulaski County deputy was fired late last night or early this morning after an inmate that he was transporting to the McPherson unit in Newport said that he sexually assaulted her. The details are not yet fully known, but it apparently stems around some allegations having to do with trading sex for cigarettes, but the details aren't fully known yet. More reading for you. Take a look at Ernie Dumas' column in the Arkansas Times this week. You can find it at ArkansasBlog.com. It's spurred by the planned visit this week in Little Rock of Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Tony Blair. Tony Blair, you know, is George Bush's poodle on going to war in Iraq. Ernie talks about the Iraq War. He talks about the things that Congress wants to study, like Hillary's email, and things they don't want to study, such as planning for the Iraq War, the letdown on intelligence that led to 9/11, and that sort of thing. So perhaps nonpartisan study is something of an oxymoron, Dumas writes. Some good news from Washington. Senator Tom Cotton puts out a picture on Twitter that indicates he's going to have a second son come the end of the year. And finally, at a programming note, we're not able to have wardrobe credits at the end here, so those of you who might wonder, this shirt with the stains, it's some Lentil Doll and also a sip or two of Mango Lassie from the Indian Feast and the River Market. I recommend them both if you can manage to keep them off your shirt. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.